Hey, good morning from Minnesota. Just a little bit after 11 o'clock, headed toward noon, and I'm winding this piece up. And I thought, well, I'd show you how these are kind of finished up. This is not certainly, as I said before, not any major league piece of stained glass, not a monster, not a big one, not anything like that thing. Ooh, that takes a while. Knock one of these out. That's up inside this lamp. It's dirty hanging here in my shop, but anyway, this is considerably easier than that. And so anyway, what I've done here is I've finished the soldering on the main piece, and I build these on just a piece of paper, and I square up and draw the size, shapes of the border glass that I want to use, and I square them up with that wood right there. That allows me to build the glass interior here, all of this, squared up. Once I get that soldered up on one side, all the glass cut in place, soldered on one side, then I know it's square, and I'll flip it over, and that's when I add the zinc. So I'm showing you this side because we can see the finished soldering. Now, I'll come back and put some black patina on here. That'll darken this solder to a dark gray, nearly black, which will correspond to the background or the black that I've used here in this Dragonfly. This thing will look a lot better when I get the black patina on it and get it finished up. I've not soldered the zinc yet to the glass here. I've got it soldered on the other side, just connecting it just enough to get it finished up. So that's how this is done. So let's turn this other side. And here you can see that I haven't done the finished soldering on the back side, and you can see the copper foil. Every piece of glass is cut with a thin strip of copper wrapped around it, and then I'm soldering. So I've soldered the corners here and connected this zinc, squared it up. See, it's sitting in the frame nice and square. Very close, I think maybe a 64th of an inch or so, somewhere in there. We're real close. And what I'll do is I'll solder eye hooks on the top of each upper corner. And some people put these in on an easel, set them on a table. Some people hang them in a window. Some people set them in a window. There's there's many different ways to display a piece like this. Our glass is cut nice and tight. What we're really looking here for is uniformity in that width of copper there, because that's where the solder is gonna go. And let's see if I might be able to do some soldering here. It's hard to hold a phone and solder, so what I'm going to do, I will just connect a couple of places here. So we're going to put some flux, right? Just paint that on and one-handed, this is going to be a real treat. So what I've got is just a piece of solder here, so I'm going to clean my iron just a little bit. There's a little damp sponge there. Let me break that solder right there. Don't have no fear. I'll make this work. Okay, here we go. You see, I'm just dabbing a little solder off there. And let's see, we'll take a little more. And let's go over here. Now, very few people are doing this one-handed. Not that I'm anything special here. I'm doing it one-handed because I'm holding the phone with the other one. Okay, now, get that out of there. Let's get it back. There you go. Now what we're going to do is kind of smooth this out a little bit because I'm doing it one-handed. Normally you'd hold that solder down there and you wouldn't have all that. Anyway, we got it cleaned up. So let's do a hair more, and then we won't. There's no point to demonstrate one-handed soldering. Nobody would do that unless I guess they had to. So let's take this solder. What we're going to do, there we go. We'll try to run some back that way. There we go. Now we're going to go. We've got that. We're going to end up with too much solder here in a minute. There we go. Just kick it out of the way. And then we're going to just soften that up just a little bit. Now, I don't think that this copper foil soldering is really all that difficult. I've been doing this so long that I don't, I know it's harder than it looks, but the real difficulty in soldering is not copper foil, or what I'm working on now. Now look, we're getting a whole bunch of solder here. So we'll just drag it down the road with us here. Now we've run out of flux. So let's just put some flux here and we'll get rid of all this excess solder here. Come out here, come over here, and we'll just drag it. See, because it's going to, because of the flux, it's going to stick or adhere to the copper foil. And now we've got out of that mess. There we go. There it is. So that's how you solder. Now, normally you would, and I'm a little bit low right here because we ran out of solder there a little bit. So let's take just a pinch here. That's a little much, actually. Run that right there. Okay, and let's go right there and get that there. And we just kick that out of the way there. Move it back here, get it over here. Actually, there's a, not so much on, this glass here holds up under heat real well, but you can fool around, goofing around, doing stuff like that, and get a hot ball of that solder with that has any size to it. See, now we're starting to run out of solder here, so we need more solder, and there's no sense to continue to demonstrate. Actually, that's not looking too bad, but it needs a little more solder. Anyway, there's no point to demonstrate one-handed soldering because nobody's going to be doing that anyway. What we can do, let's do this. Let's break it here, and that's stuck on there. There we go. And what I want to do is show you this. You know, and I don't know whether I put flux on there or not. I think I did, but there it is. Oh, that's not too bad. So there it is, soldering onto the zinc. So anyway, that's basically the whole thing. If you could do that right there, you could build a window with 5,000 pieces. If you could cut the glass. Anyway, that's copper foil soldering. And I'll come back and clean that up just a little bit, not much. It doesn't look too bad. And lead soldering, I was going to talk about, yeah, lead soldering, I think much more difficult. The reason for that is that you're not going to melt this copper foil under here. What if you're on that piece very long or too long with the hot iron? But you mess around with lead when you're making a lead joint, and you can vaporize the lead right out from underneath the work that you're working on. And I've got some videos on my Facebook page of lead soldering, exactly how to do it. And I only wish that I'd have been able to find a video like that, 46 years ago, because it took me a long time to learn how to really solder well on lead. I couldn't figure it out. And finally the light went off. I think it only took about 20 years for the light to go off. And I figured out the formula to get that done and get it done right. And consequently, I think, I never say I do. I'm never say I'm really good at anything, but I am really good at lead soldering. Everything else, so. Anyway, that's how one of these is done. I'll finish the soldering up here. If I could hold the solder and the iron, the solder in one hand, the iron in the other, I could finish this in probably 7 minutes. I'm thinking right across there. Just solder that up. That would mean this side is done. Flip it over, and all that remains on this other side, or what I would call the front side, the textured side of the glass here, is just these corners and the connection that the zinc has made to the stained glass piece itself. And the zinc makes this thing, real nice looking frame. When I get this finished here, this morning, by early this afternoon, I'll do the patina on it, and I'll put it up in my window if there's enough light. It's supposed to rain here later this afternoon, so if I could get just a little sunlight, maybe I could take a picture of it in the window, and you could see the colors of this thing. It's going to look real pretty when I get it done. So anyway, that's all I have. I just wanted to show you how you do this, and maybe demonstrate a little bit of copper foil soldering. All right. Well, anyway, if you have any questions, as always, be sure and ask me. There's no stupid questions, no questions that anybody's going to make fun of you. I never shoot There's lots of things about this that I don't know, so your questions are always welcome. Thank you again for your attention. I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you. Bye now.